He is Canada's own.
Tonight, despite being back home in his native country of Canada, Owens is all business with good reason, Wade.
Yeah, one thing we know about Kevin Owens, he is like a Force 5 hurricane at the best of times. When he gets to Canada, though, he finds a whole new level, and that may
Can't tell.
Bad news for the Bloodline tomorrow.
Nope, disconnected.
It all goes down tomorrow, streaming live WWE on Peacock. An absolutely colossal six-man tag team match as Kevin Owens joins forces with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and the Viper Randy Orton to battle the Bloodline.
Weird. My head, I talk to me, they understand, they talk to me. I'm extremely impressed at how well they've turned around the Bloodline story, and they've actually made it feel like a threat. Having KO and Randy, like, because they've really been kindling, like, keeping the fire going, right? They've been, like, keeping the kindling going, burning. And I really think, like, if anybody can do anything with it, these three guys have really given it legs. Because it really felt like this thing was just a train wreck. You know, it felt like such a missed opportunity. Like, they really blew it. And then, in one foul swoop, really turned everything around. It's pretty incredible.
Vicious, unrepentant, cold and calculating.
You know, the question becomes, what do they do with it tomorrow? Like, do they, because they kind of have to lose tomorrow. And they have to, like, the Bloodline has to decimate them. You know, like, they have to eat the loss. And, you know, the three of them are big enough that I think it doesn't really matter if they eat the loss or not. The seats behind the screen have got to suck. I hope they're like $10. I hope those tickets cost nothing.
Wait, I've got to ask you, between Owens, Orton, and Rhodes, Cody arguably has the most experience battling the Bloodline. Is Cody going to be the secret ingredient to taking down Solo and the Bloodline tomorrow night?
Cody Rhodes might be the only man capable of tying together this trio we're about to see in the ring in their attempts to take down the new and more vicious Bloodline. If anyone can, Cody Rhodes can.
Whoa.
United by a common enemy. Rhodes, Owens, and Orton join forces tomorrow night in six-man tag team action. Can this trio...
I think I've talked extensively before about starting and ending strong. The other thing that WWE is real good at is the hourlies. Is knowing that, like, people jump off at the hour marks. And so, you know, it's 9 o'clock, and that means you bring out your three biggest stars, and that's to keep everybody from jumping off. and it's real smart. You know, it's real smart. It's good programming.
So, Toronto.
Woo! He said where he is. He said the name of the place that he is, guys.
We could talk about last night, Sami Zayn and friends. We could talk about 16,000 people here tonight for SmackDown, a sold-out Money in the Bank. We could talk about Heat Wave on Sunday. It seems like WWE and Toronto are just a good fit. I don't know about you, but we have heard enough from Solo Sikoa. And
Which is weird because he didn't talk for like years.
They have asked for a fight. We are ready for a fight.
And hey, Codeman, KO, if it's up to me, that fight is going to end with the 3 most dangerous letters in sports entertainment, RKO.
For me, I could probably talk about the last 4 years of my life fighting the bloodline, but what I think I'd rather do is talk about the last 4 days of my life. Because on Monday morning, I got a call from my dad. Monday morning, I got a call from my dad telling me that my mom was rushed to the hospital. I needed to get home. So I jumped on a flight and I flew back to Quebec. And that's where I've been for the last 5 days or so. In the same hospital where she gave birth to me, with my dad and my brother at her bedside watching her fight like hell. And you know, the shows in Toronto are always super special for all of us because everybody gets to get together, the kids get to see their grandparents, all the families there, and everybody gets to enjoy wrestling together. But my dad and my mom are not here tonight. They won't be here tomorrow because my mom is still in that hospital bed fighting like hell. And I know I could have stayed home tonight and it wouldn't have been a problem with anybody back there or out here, and I probably should have stayed home, but I didn't because the one person it would have been a problem for is my mother.
God, he's good.
Ever since I was 11 years old and I discovered professional wrestling in WWE, she did everything she could, along with my dad, to make sure that I would realize my dream.
Earnestness and
she wanted me to fight like hell. She told me every single time to come in here and leave it all in the ring.
The simple earnestness and humanity that every single Kevin Owens promo brings is just magnificent.
Because of her,
just magnificent.
So here I am, and Bloodline, let me tell you this, I am more serious than I've ever been in my entire career. Tomorrow, win, lose, or draw, all I care about is that I do what my mom has wanted me to do for the last 4 years. And that is not just kick the living hell out of Bloodline. It's to beat their asses worse than ever before.
As if Owens needed any additional motivation, Kevin
Kevin Owens this weekend, a dangerous, dangerous man, Wade.
Oh my word, Kevin Owens is dangerous at the best of times, but this version of Kevin Owens, after that pep talk, fired up. Tomorrow is gonna be off the hook. Fight like hell, and when everything in your body is screaming at you to stop, you simply have to keep going. Tomorrow is gonna be a fight for the ages, and I cannot wait.
Now, of course, we'd like to take a moment to send our best wishes and condolences to Kevin Owens' family. Keep fighting. But, Wade, while we're staying on the business of things happening tonight, it's Tag Team Championship main event night here on Friday Night SmackDown. And one thing that Owens, Orton, and Rhodes all understand is the value of being Tag Team Champion in WWE. From the LOD to the Dudleys, to the New Day and the Usos, for decades, the WWE Tag Team Championship has represented supremacy in tag team.
For fuck's sake.
The WWE Tag Team Championships. A symbol of legacy and unmatched achievement in sports entertainment. To compete for these titles is to follow in the footsteps of greatness, walking the same path as iconic teams like the Legion of Doom and the Wild Samoans, all who have set the gold standard for tag team excellence. The battles for tag team supremacy are among the most grueling and intense in WWE history. The unforgettable wars between the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian.
Broken bodies all for the tag team titles.
The fierce clashes between the Hart Foundation and Demolition.
Everybody take a good look at this belt. That means you're the best tag team there is.
Epic encounters etched in history, alongside the record-breaking rivalry between the Usos and the New Day.
We got this tag team division on lock.
These championships signify more than just being the best tag team in the world. They embody the essence of teamwork and the relentless pursuit of a common goal. Tonight, another chapter will be written in this storied
This is
legacy.
really building up a lot of like a lot of build up.
Hey, down under. 1L. DIY become the WWE Tag Team Champions. Feels like a matter of time.
I believe they will.
Rise to the challenge.
Judging from this clip package, they are definitely winning.
Tonight is the
That is very silly.
main event. The WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line as A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller defend against DIY, Ciampa, and Gargano.
I don't want to rise for the Judgment Day. They have to.
Priest. Rollins. The World Heavyweight Championship.
If you beat me, as long as you're champion, I'll never challenge for the world title again.
Oh, if I have to.
kick.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Naomi. She is the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley.
The champ Bayley with her good friend Naomi in tow, preparing for action tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Wade after being jumped earlier. Wait, just a second, Wade. There happens to be last year's Ms. Money in the Bank, Io Sky, who at the time was a member of Damage Control, a Bayley-led faction at the time.
Yes, indeed. Io Sky, of course, one of the competitors in tomorrow's Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The championship opportunity that comes with the contract in that briefcase could well indeed be cashed in on Bayley.
And her opponent, accompanied by Chelsea Green, Piper Niven.
Well, this matchup came to be by the demand of WWE Women's Champion Bayley earlier in the night, who was backstage with Jackie Redmond before being interrupted by none other
How about
than
you come
Miss
back
Green.
when you actually win a match, okay?
Until a sudden sneak attack by, was it a frittata that Chelsea Green referred to Piper Niven as, Wade?
I think so. It's an interesting reference. I call her a bulldozer of sorts, one of the most dangerous women in the WWE locker room, and she proved that at Clash at the Castle against Bayley.
Well, Bayley, a superstar who knows what it means to hold the Money in the Bank contract, yet also now be afraid. Because Bayley realizing that she's a target every day she wakes up as WWE Women's Champion. But tomorrow night, one of 6 women will have the chance to call their shot, and they could be gunning for Bayley.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bayley's championship run has been tremendous. She's looked outstanding at her very best, but the entire complexity, or complexion I should say, of Bayley's future changes tomorrow night. She could lose that championship in a heartbeat, any place, anytime.
Look at this power from Niven. The champion trying to fight out of that predicament. I'm certain Piper Niven still seething after Clash at the Castle. A night that Niven considered embarrassing to lose in front of her home country of Scotland. And now Piper taking out all of that anger, all of that frustration.
It's nice to hear the audience giving it their all.
Looking to commit some grievous bodily harm on Bayley.
Oh, God, that's it.
Is more than capable of doing exactly that.
Covered by Niven. I think even Naomi believed this matchup was over after that impact.
And the truth is, when it comes to Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, it pays to have backup in the form of Naomi. Very little Naomi can do to stop this runaway train that is Piper Niven.
Bayley looking to get creative. Bulldog takes down Niven, who wisely rolls under the bottom rope. Smart move by Piper.
Piper Niven is a veteran competing all around the world. Bayley is hurting, got those busted ribs, and would do well to completely ignore Chelsea Green and focus on Piper Niven.
Bayley wanted the drop kick. Niven sensed it coming. Bayley able to
Hey, Pop. Welcome.
Piper off for the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, my
Piper's so
goodness.
good.
Bayley might be out cold.
I mean, Chelsea's amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love Chelsea to death. Like, she is my favorite. Chelsea Green might be my favorite thing in women's wrestling. No, that's not true. Toni Storm is my favorite thing in women's wrestling. Chelsea Green is my favorite thing in WWE women's wrestling.
Hard emotionally to say.
Yeah, like that.
Oh. Goodbye.
I forgive you.
I was wrong.
For me, it's saying I love
No. Doo-ga-doo. Doo-ga-doo. I always forget you guys can't hear the music as I sing along with the commercials.
Money in the bank, and the WWE Women's Champion in action right now.
Oof.
Bayley from the middle rope takes down Piper Niven.
Another competitor from two more. Lyra Valkyria and Zoe Stark, two women, of course, competing in the Money in the Bank women's ladder match tomorrow. But right now we've got a real fight on our hands as Bayley is finally getting some steam against Piper Niven.
These competitors are coming out of the woodwork to survey the scene. It is indeed.
Oh, Tiffy. The women's match is also, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I think the women's Money in the Bank is also hard to predict. Like, I think, you know, on the one hand, Tiffy, I think giving Tiffy the briefcase seems like the right move. Because if anybody deserves it, if anyone would, you know, benefit from it, it's probably her. But giving Chelsea Green that briefcase would be goddamn hilarious. Like, the comedic use that she would get out of it. With the biggest problem being, like, I don't know that they would ever make her a champion. But I think, like, having her blow it and just not being able to use it right is probably okay. But, like, the just sheer amount of comedy you would get out of Chelsea Green with that briefcase would be, to say, to use a phrase.
You have no friends when you have the gold. It's that simple.
Bayley able to weave out of harm's way before dropping Niven with a neck breaker. And now Naomi looking to rally the WWE Universe, who Chelsea Green believes are steadfastly in support of her. Wait.
Chelsea Green lost her mind.
Oh.
Referring to herself as a hometown hero all day.
She did not get a hero's welcome from this audience, nor one from Naomi.
Chelsea launched into the barricade. Here comes Io. Io Sky.
There we go.
The barricade.
Io Sky needs no invitation to get involved, nor does Lyra Valkyria and Zoe Stark.
This had to be expected. All the combustible elements under one roof. Tomorrow night, it's going down here at Scotiabank Arena for the Money in the Bank contract.
What the hell is Tiffany Stratton doing? World's prettiest moonsault from the top rope takes out everybody.
But Niven might have just taken out Bayley. Piper now from the second turnbuckle. Nobody home.
Bayley just too quick, lying in wait, and now
Rose plant.
puts this one to bed.
Here is your winner, the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley!
What a hard-fought battle tonight for the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. No doubt looking to keep her skill set sharp, realizing she'll be a target tomorrow night. Wait a minute! It's Queen Nia Jax!
If there's carnage out here, Nia Jax wants a piece of it. Let's not forget, as Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax gets a championship opportunity at SummerSlam, and it may well be Bayley, who still has the gold at that point.
You're right, Wade, but regardless of whether it's Bayley or any of the 6 women who may become Ms. Money in the Bank tomorrow night, a championship opportunity at SummerSlam.
Just admire the majesty of this woman.
Look how it's Michin. Michin has had a score to settle for weeks with Nia. I guess if you're Bayley,
Michin really gets around because she's just all over NXT too.
Michin, equalizer in hand.
Michin is lethal with a kendo stick, as we saw on NXT this past week. And Bayley must be counting her lucky stars that Michin showed up in the nick of time.
Well, Wade, it's a good thing that the 6 women competing in Money in the Bank don't have to wait long to get their hands on one another.
Yes, you are absolutely right. These 6 women that we saw go into meltdown moments ago will be competing tomorrow night in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who will set their career on an entirely new trajectory?
Well, last night right here in Toronto, a one-of-a-kind first experience as Sami Zayn and friends held a comedy show here in the 6. But tomorrow night will be no laughing matter for the underdog from the underground as Sami Zayn defends his Intercontinental title against Braun Breaker.
Fight like hell, says KO, and he will have to do exactly that. So will Cody Rhodes, so will Randy Orton, and the entirety of the Bloodline as they compete in 6-man tag team action tomorrow at Money in the Bank.
The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line as Damian Priest defends against the former and first ever World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. But if Priest loses, not only does he lose the gold, he's got to leave the Judgment Day.
And 6 men compete in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match to grab that briefcase, grab the contract, and send their career into orbit. That's tomorrow night from 7 Eastern.
And as first reported by the Toronto Sun, WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus will host tomorrow night's Money in the Bank festivities. Let me get this out of the way soon. Thank you, Trish.
Yes, I firmly agree. And you can join me starting at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Countdown to Money in the Bank show. I'll be joined by Big E, Jackie Redmond, and the great Michael Cole. He paid me to say that. We're going to get hyped before Money in the Bank.
What does that mean?
The hype rolling. We are looking to white out Scotiabank Arena tomorrow night, much like A-Town Down Under look to retain their WWE Tag Team titles. It's our main event. It's going down, and it's next.
Let me talk to you.
WWE Universe. A storm is coming to New York City.
So, what do you want to talk about?
We're talking about Fanatics Fest NYC.
August 16th through the 18th in the Big Apple.
Come meet and greet all your favorite WWE superstars and athletes
All weekend long.
Taking photos.
signing autographs.
I'll kiss your babies.
So you, yes, you right there. I need you to go to fanaticsfest.com.
Get your tickets, Zeus.
Because you don't want to miss this.
Design a training program.
Guys, let's do some trivia. I'm gonna win.
How should I plant this if my garden doesn't receive direct sunlight?
I was right. Next question.
It starts with an empty prompt. And the most advanced AI at your fingertips.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, thought I'd buy stilts. Hi, honey. Hey. Oh, look. No line at the hot dog stand.
Yes.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
To 50 years with my best friend.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty absorbs spills like a sponge and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Before revolution, before America, before destiny came calling, he was George.
You have ambitions.
I have pride, sir.
George, Rise of a Revolutionary, streaming now on Fox
The
Nation.
worst.
You're gonna need a new bumper.
Did you say...
I can't believe there's 2 WWE pay-per-views this weekend. It's a weird choice.
NXT Championship. Oh, yes, man. Plus, a battle for the NXT Women's Championship.
There is not one woman that can take this title away from me.
Beast Fist? Don't lie.
NXT Heatwave in Toronto.
Tomorrow it's baseball night in America on Fox. Christian Yelich leads the Brewers against Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. Trey Turner and the Phillies take on the Braves in a huge battle at the top of the NL East. It all begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Well, get this, GM Nick Aldis moves fast. After what we just witnessed, Michin and Queen Nia Jax get to settle a score as they go one-on-one next week. And in addition, Baron Corbin teams with Apollo Crews to battle Legado del Fantasma. Both matches next
I guess
week
that's the thing people want to see.
on SmackDown.
Apollo Crews and
8 years ago, we walked into this arena and we walked out the NXT Tag Team Champions. That night, Toronto made DIY.
2 years ago, I returned to WWE in this arena. I chose this place because it's become like a second home to me and Tommaso. But tonight isn't about the past.
It's about tonight. It's about capturing lightning in the bottle for the second time and becoming the WWE Tag Team Champions.
Toronto, let's go!
we are what? Ooh. Oh, this is so tiring.
It was in this very arena where this duo captured the NXT Tag Team Championships. Wade, I was on the call that night. It was one of the most incredible tag team matches I've ever witnessed unfold. Will DIY be able to pull it off again tonight?
Guess they will.
Goosebumps just thinking about 8 years ago. I spoke to these two earlier, Corey. They told me they feel invincible in this building. That may bleed to a little overconfidence, but when I see the steely look in the eye of Gargano and Ciampa, I believe they can do it. They feel like there's magic in the air tonight, and they are going to grab gold.
WWE Money in the Bank is sponsored by Prime Hydration, the fastest growing beverage in history and the official hydration drink of WWE. With only 25 calories, 0 added sugar, BCAAs, and electrolytes. Drink Prime.
A-Town.
Well, Wade, since capturing the championships at WrestleMania, Theory and Waller have been riding high all around the WWE Universe.
Telling me you've got that gold around your waist. You are a king or a parakeet in this industry. And don't these two know it? Don't they love reminding the world of it?
Well, let me ask you this, Wade. Over the past several weeks, we've heard many comments and suggestions from Gargano and Ciampa regarding Austin Theory's past with Johnny Gargano. It seems as though there could be seeds of dissension sown in the tag team champions camp. What do you see?
You're absolutely right. Look, Gargano is convinced that Waller is using Theory to get ahead. My retort to that would be, hey, if someone wants to use me to get ahead, and in the process, I'm going to get one half of the WWE Tag Team Championship, I'm perfectly happy with that. That's what this world can be at times, but undoubtedly, Gargano has helped sow a little division in the tag champs, and that needs to be exploited tonight by the challengers.
Well, who will be the champions when we roll into Worcester next week? Worcester, Massachusetts, limited tickets still available. You do not want to miss a moment of Friday Night SmackDown live.
following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the WWE Tag Team Championship! Introducing the challengers, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY! And their opponents, they are the WWE Tag Team Champions, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory!
Ah.
Thus far, no tag team has been able to unseat Theory and Waller since they captured the gold
It's going to change tonight.
in that ladder match. Wade, in your opinion, what did Ciampa and Gargano have to do tonight to knock off Theory and Waller?
They have to sow as much division as they can. Right now, the champs are putting on a united front. It's all smiles, but divide and
It's going to be a good
conquer
match.
if
I'm being
you can. There
dismissive,
are no more
but
gritty,
it is going to be a
no
good
more
match because all
battle
four of these guys are real good.
Gargano, and they're gonna need all of that.
Oh, there's a bunch of people over on YouTube. Welcome, guys. Who's hanging out? Let me know. Post for me. Yeah, it's going to be a good match. You know, like the reality is that I feel like all four of them have not been booked particularly well. I feel like Ciampa and Gargano in particular, I feel like I don't quite know what to do with them. And I guess I get it, like, because they're in the tag team, because they've kind of already done it before, right? Like, because they've done it all in NXT, I suppose it's all a little bit like, you know, been there, done that. But the reality is, like, they're real talented. They have so much enthusiasm for what they do. I feel like they could be doing so much more. And as they are totally about to win the titles right now, hopefully that's going to change and that's going to be real good for them. I don't know. Do you guys think, am I wrong? Are they going to win? I'm like, I would bet money on it if this was allowed to do on this, but I don't think you can. But yeah, I mean, it just makes sense that they're going to win. They've made such a big deal about how this is how great it is to win tag team titles. They made out a whole video package about it. And then they made a big stink about how this is where they won the NXT titles. I mean, it would be weird for them not to win. So I can't imagine that they're not going to. I'm sort of surprised they haven't done the Solo Sikoa thing, because I'm assuming, I don't know if it's a scene or if it's a vignette or what it is, but like, I mean, we're already at 9:45 and we haven't done it yet. I mean, is it just going to be like a 2-minute long vignette? It just feels like we should have done something by now. So yeah, if you guys, everyone who just signed on, we talked a little bit earlier about who was going to win Money in the Bank. My guess is that it's going to be Tiffy for the women, but I was hoping for Chelsea Green. That's my big hope for the night. For the men, I'm actually kind of unsure. Like, it feels like, you know, you probably give it to, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't actually have it. I generally have a good sense of, like, who's going to do what, but I really have no idea.
Waller
because it's a weird crop of guys to put in there. None of them super need it, you know? Like, you want to give it to somebody who's going to be able to use it. Priest is a really good example, right? Like, you gave it to Priest because Priest, like, needed to be elevated, and that briefcase really did elevate him. Not just by winning the title, but by giving him a story. You know, it gave him character. I suppose, like, by that standard, like, you give it to Andrade, maybe, because Andrade's just got nothing going on, and should, because he's magnificent. But, like, he's magnificent, but he's not a talker. I mean, maybe you give it to Drew, and then you let Drew win the title, but the thing is, like, you want Drew and CM Punk to not have a title going between them. Right? Like, you want CM Punk to just be the point of that story is the two of them feuding for no reason. Not for no reason, but for no belt. You want them feuding over the fact that they hate each other. That's more than enough to keep the feud going. And putting a title on it, it just messes it up for me.
Tag made. Austin Theory now going to be legal for his team as we look again at Grayson Waller. Flexing a little in the air, doing it Mamba style before dropping the elbow. And what a jab right on the chin of Johnny Wrestling.
Former amateur boxer Grayson Waller using his skills to high effect. And now Theory gloating a little. This is a mistake for me against someone like Ciampa and Gargano.
I'm going to agree with you, Wayne. I think this is a mistake by Austin Theory. Perhaps a little bit of overconfidence. Because you have to imagine
would you say, Jay? Let me see here. Sorry.
Gargano. These are two world-traveled journeymen, veterans who have scratched and clawed their way to WWE. They have made the most of every opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure. You know, I think that for the women, I think it's probably going to be Tiffy. I feel like it's probably she's the one who gets the most out of it. It feels like something that she can use. It feels like she can elevate it. Like, it elevates her in a good way. But for the men, I really don't know. Like, I think Andrade is the only one who doesn't have anything going on, who would actually be served by it and would actually make, like, a difference for him. So, like, I like to think that, you know, like, if I was booking it with the guys who were in that room, who were in that match, I feel like Andrade is who you use, because who else would you use? Who do you think, Jay? Who would you say?
In that neck and arm area, I've had one of those myself. Completely paralyzes you
Thank you.
Temporarily, and it might be down to Austin Theory to defend these tag titles on his own.
Yeah, but what kind of damage did Gargano inflict on himself by executing the maneuver? Theory hoisting up Johnny, inside cradle by Gargano, DIY.
But I really want to know, Jay, who do you think?
And picked out of midair is Johnny Wrestling.
Or who are you hoping for at the very least?
Well, Theory was looking for a tag, I think, there from Grayson Waller, who is nowhere to be seen, still showing the effects of that Cleveland Destroyer attempt from Gargano.
Johnny now looking to make the tag, and Ciampa ripped off the apron by a very resourceful Grayson Waller.
Well, he's still
nice.
in a bad way as Waller, but he might have well saved his tag champion.
Oh, Jesus. I love Theory. I think Theory's real good. I feel like he's also... I mean, I was talking about it a little bit ago, but, like, I feel like Theory's been misused, too. Like, I get him as a douchebag, but the problem with... Oh, you think it'll be Jey Uso? Yeah, here's the thing about it being Jey Uso, though, man. Like, Jey Uso doesn't need it. Like, Jey Uso just gets given title shots, right? Like, he's already up there getting title shots. And, like, narratively, dude asks for a title shot, he's given one because of who he is, right? The person that you want to give that briefcase to is somebody who isn't there yet, right? Like, you want to give it to somebody who has to, like, connive their way to it to really get the most value out of it. And, like, Jey Uso... I personally don't feel like Jey Uso is ready to be a world champion. I don't know that, like, for how over he is, I feel like when he actually gets in the ring, I don't know that he has it. Like, I don't find him to be, like, as electrifying as he is to the crowd, you know? So I think that, like, they're not willing to make him a champion, and that's the only reason he's not a champion. What this briefcase does, and, like, why the briefcase matters and why the briefcase is so cool, is the briefcase is a way to get somebody who they believe in and somebody who they have, like, a ton of faith in, but who they don't really have, like, a clear, defined way to get there. I always go back to Nick Nemeth, to Dolph Ziggler. Sorry, I've gotten used to thinking of him as Nick Nemeth now. Right? Like, that was the thing with Dolph Ziggler that was so great and why it worked so well with him, was that it was about, like, it wasn't just about elevating him. It was about, like, it told such a great story. You know? Like, it really told a great story about a guy who like, in all ways was never going to get there. Because he was never going to get there. And that briefcase got him there. And I think it's sort of the same thing with Priest. Like, Priest was a guy that, like, what was his path to becoming a world champion if it wasn't that briefcase? Because they clearly wanted him to be a world champion. Like, for years, they've wanted him to be a world champion. For years, they have groomed him to be a world champion. But they also had no concrete plan to get him there that wasn't that briefcase. You know? But with Jey Uso, like, they clearly are working their way there. I just think they don't feel that he's there yet. And I don't disagree with them. But I think if they thought he was there, he would be there. Because he does have the merch, and he does have the following, and he does have the fans. That's just that's like my gut reaction to how I would book him, at the very least. But it's a weird, I feel like the men's is a weird match because I feel like it's unpredictable. I also think Chad Gable's kind of a good potential for it too, because Gable has been amazing. Like, the past, like, 2 months of Chad Gable, it is hard to choose. Yeah, like, I feel like Chad Gable has been top of the charts, amazing to watch the past few months. And I think that, like, if I were going to just from a sheer enjoyability standpoint and, like, who brings the most entertainment, Chad Gable's kind of hard to beat. And having a guy who is, like, so egomaniacal and so shifty, have that, ooh, that was close. Having him, like, with the briefcase, but being too scared to use it because he doesn't want to lose and doesn't want to fail. And so, like, constantly, like, on the verge of using it, constantly, like, about to use it, but then not having the wherewithal to actually get it done. That's pretty goddamn compelling. I really like that as a story, too. But I also think, like, he's so little, like, he's small, like, he's physically small. And so I feel like that makes it hard for them to book him as a world champion, because they still have, even under Triple H, there's still, like, a prejudice against small guys. Which, by the way, the match that's on right now is sort of good evidence of that, because both Gargano and Austin Theory, part of why they aren't more over is neither one of them are particularly tall. You know, and Theory's actually pretty thick. Like, he's a pretty thick-looking dude.
Theory taking the bullet for his man.
Ciampa has a Project Ciampa. Waller is down. Could he be out? Tag me.
The champ's in complete disarray. Is this the magic we've been waiting for in Toronto?
Oh, beautiful.
Johnny Gargano.
There they go. 1, 2. Ah.
Theory gets Waller's foot under the bottom rope. That's got to be heartbreaking for the challengers, Wade.
Time and again, the
I'm so confused how they're, like, just from a production standpoint, how they're gonna fit in this Bloodline segment.
Whatever it takes to retain the gold.
Around we go. Johnny could be looking for a Gargano escape. The submission is in. Can Lawler hold on?
He was about to tap. Austin Theory's prevented the tap.
Deja vu in Toronto.
Oh, that's pretty good. Wow, that was great. What a great match. Really, really great match. Really, really great match. Now they're just gonna have to like cram in. That's a good moment. Yeah, look, this is I was talking earlier about the filler matches, and like this is how you do a match that doesn't feel like a filler match, and not just because it was a title, but like they built it up, they gave it meaning, they really like gave it a reason to exist. You know, whereas like having those matches, like the Pretty Deadly and the Street Profits, they're just sort of there. Like, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move story forward. It doesn't really, like, they were literally just filling time. And like, I get there's 5 hours of programming every week, but we should be doing more. I think with Solo and Roman, I mean, it's gonna be, they're gonna do a Civil War story. I think The Rock, I think that's when The Rock is gonna come back. I think The Rock is gonna be pulling the strings with Solo. And that's gonna lead to doing The Rock versus Roman. I actually made I made a video this week, yesterday, about the documentary that came out 2 days ago. And one of the things about that documentary that I think is really interesting, that they don't come out right and say, but that is like kind of abundantly clear, is there wasn't actually a story for The Rock versus Roman. The story for The Rock versus Roman was, we want to make a lot of money, right? Like, there was no actual like purpose to telling that story other than we want to make money. Ooh, talking of which, hold on, I want to see this.
This makes me the tribal chief.
Ooh.
This is not what I wanted, but this is what my family needed. Roman Reigns was not man enough to defend our title at WrestleMania.
Oof.
He was not man enough to defend our legacy against Cody Rhodes and his legacy. Therefore, he shall no longer call himself the tribal chief, because I'm the tribal chief now.
Oh man.
And I am going to take back our WWE undisputed title from Cody Rhodes.
I don't think you are, buddy. But I think it's nice that you're gonna try.
He can try and take it from me, because I am going to show everyone in the Money in the Bank 6-man tag match, Cody Rhodes, I am coming for you, and you will acknowledge me.
That was good. That was like the first, like, I feel like he hasn't cut a promo that was that strong ever. And I think there's a reason that it was recorded, because it gave him time to actually, you know, work on it. But that was good. That was real good. I really like that. Yeah, I really, really, really like that. That was real good.